Hammer, first bout of the evening we've got here tonight for the WMC Pro Australian title. Regis taking on Mike 300 Demetriou, a cracking main event.
Well, two of the best. Louis, of course, from Sydney. Mike 300 Demetriou, well-travelled Muaythai fighter, of course based in Melbourne, trained by Don Miller. This is going to be an absolute cracker for the strap, the WMC Australian title.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, Mike 300
Yeah, so it's
Demetriou.
good and bad with that, I feel. It's when fighters come back from Thailand, I feel you can work out their fight style very easily because they have that very heavy kicking arsenal that they employ. And, the boxing sort of tapers off a bit, so you know what they're going to bring.
So here we go, round number one, WMC Australian Pro title up for grabs. Mike Demetriou in the black trunks. Two of probably Australia's most technical fighters, Hammer, but tough as nails.
Louis Regis is definitely one of my favourites from SRG gym in Sydney. So for the folk watching that are based in Sydney, you want to get involved and train a little bit of Muay Thai. There's a few great gyms in Sydney. Check them out, SRG. Great facility with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu down there as well, very popular these days.
Yeah, and of course Lewis, the Brazilian living in Sydney, fighting under Thai rules.
It's an international flavoured event.
So this one's 5 3-minute rounds. Big thanks to the boys at Quest Environments getting behind this one as well.
Of course you'll see Demetriou there with the black shorts and silver trim, southpaw, left-handed fighter. He'll be looking to step to his right and throw with his left. Regis in turn will be doing the opposite, stepping to his left and throwing with his right. Whenever there's an orthodox fighter up against the southpaw fighter, generally the fight style changes just a little, where they settle. An orthodox fighter against an orthodox fighter will generally set a lot more with their jab or their left side and then power through with their right. When you're fighting a lefty, you throw straight off the right, so you let the power go straight up because it's hard to crack through with that lead.
And you look at the fight records, Demetriou's had 56 fights to Lewis's 24 fights. So you look at this and you think, well, there's a big experience advantage going away with Mike 300, but Lewis Regis is no slouch. No,
Regis is very well rounded. He's fought all over the country, indeed all over the world, and very comfortable in centre ring. And, brings a lot of, I suppose, experience that his record perhaps doesn't show. He's a lot more experienced than his record.
I remember seeing him fight in the early days up in Sydney on a J&I show. Went up there and had a look at that, and I think he was having his 6 or 7 fight. And I just thought, no way, this guy's had 6 or 7 fights. But his technique was so crisp. He was spot on with everything. He loaded up the power shots, and in the early days you could see he was going to go a long, long way.
I think he did a fair camp in Thailand for a while there too. As we've mentioned, he's well travelled, and as such is really honed his skills in his art of Muay Thai. So even though the years may be few, but the experience is very many.
Of course, Rebellion Muay Thai, as we said, 14 fights on the card tonight. We've got the 8-man eliminator, so we've actually got 11 fights with the 8-man eliminator. Of course, you have your 2 semi-finals and the final as well. All fights tonight, full Thai rules, 100% Muay Thai is what you get on Rebellion Muay Thai.
Yeah, Sai Naji does a great job of putting together the Rebellion cards, and for the Muay Thai purists, it is certainly the show to be at. The boys really bring it on the Rebellion cards. They like to mix it up, let the elbows fly. There's some good old favourites that are always fronting up on the cards and always exciting.
Round 2, chop!
Round number 2, and great to see Elias Dalapsis in the centre ring as well.
One of the most experienced Muay Thai men in centre ring, controlling the action. The mark of a good centre referee is there, but you don't actually know he's there. He gets in amongst it only when he needs to be, and when he's not, he's sitting right on the outside, keeping both fighters in the eye line. You see him just working into the centre so he can keep both fighters either side of him rather than be standing behind.
Just as a fighter, Hammer, for the viewers at home, is that distracting? If you see someone so close out of the corner of your eye, or are you just that focused on the fighter in front of you? It's really.
Well, yeah, as I said, a good referee, you won't even know he's there, even as a fighter, until you clinch up, or there's a need for you to be broken apart for whatever reason. they'll get in amongst it.
So we had a fairly even first round, but the boys are stepping up the tempo a bit now. Some good hand shots from both boys.
This venue is an absolute treat. Beautiful old historic building in the east of Melbourne, Malvern Town Hall.
Yeah, home of many a good fight night. But you can already see the midsection of Demetriou. Regis has been finding the mark of those mid kicks.
Just getting it up under the guard of Demetriou there.
And one thing you'll find with both these fighters, particularly Regis, he kicks off both sides of the body. Mike's very much, as you said, being the southpaw, very much favours the left leg, but Regis, he'll switch up and use both sides as he did just there.
And he'll look to get his lead, or both fighters will look to have their lead leg to the outside of the other. So that way they get better rotation, better power off their power side, which is their rear leg. It's all about your foot positioning when you're fighting an opposite stanced fighter. Nice. And Demetriou's, there's absolutely no doubt that he always starts at pretty much this pace. He's not a fast out of the gate starter, and he'll wind it up as the rounds tick down. Regis probably knows that, so he's up the ante a little bit in the first round, looking to get the first round in the bag, knowing that Demetriou perhaps will be going a little bit slower.
Yeah, and look, Mike's got a huge finisher with KOs. He tends to just ground out all of his fights. A lot of them do go the distance. He has got some good KOs on his resume, but he's very much into that rhythm and just racking up the points and racking up the points.
Yeah. Nice evasion, just steps back, launches forward. Oh, a spinning heel kick, Louis Regis. And I think that's what I really like about Louis Regis. He's not that traditional same technique fighter. He'll mix it up. He'll try different things, different angles. He'll vary his tempo, vary his pace and angles, and it keeps it really exciting when you watch him.
Good second round there. Let's have a look at some of the highlights there. Good takedown there from Regis. Almost a bit of a trick.
Yeah, just took out the supporting leg, but still. And off the clinch, and that's a rare thing to see. It's a very rare thing to see a fighter actually out-grapple Demetriou, because he's so solid in the clinch.
It's a good work there from Demetriou. So 2 rounds down.
We do it all again November 28th.
Catching the kick there from Demetriou.
A huge undercard also right here in the
massive card here tonight on the belly. This is for the WMC Australian Pro title.
At the original home.
So here we go, round number 3. Of course, Mike Demetriou, the former WMC Victorian champion, 2-time WMC Australian champion, and Louis Regis, the WMC New South Wales champion. So now these guys have earned their belts, haven't they?
They certainly have. They've done it the hard way, and I've seen Regis have some absolute wars as well. As with Mike 300, this is not the first 8-man competition he's competed in. He paces himself well. Well, he's not actually competing in an 8-man. We'll see the 8-man shortly, but as I said, he's competed in 8-mans. He's fought all style fighters, and he's very understated. Mike 300's been, for mine, very much under the radar a long time. He's not one of these flamboyant fighters that's out there and in your face. He just gets in the ring and does the business.
We've got to remember he won an 8-man up in,
Brisbane.
The runner-up in the 8-man against Toby Smith. He knocked off Eli Madigan on the way through it. So he's fought the biggest names in Australian Muaythai.
Yeah.
Work!
And indeed, and some big name guys overseas as well.
He's fought Syok over here as well. So he never backs down from a fight, Mike 300. He's one of the most unassuming guys you'd also meet as well.
Yeah, very understated, but total gentleman. Louis Regis in turn has endured some epic battles. Kim Johnson on one of the Knees of Fury cards. That was an absolute cracker that Regis had with Kim.
I think he came off a recent fight in New South Wales, where he had his nose shattered right across his face, and I think that took the rounds of Facebook all over the world. It's one of the ugliest noses you've seen splattered across the face. He's done well to get back in there.
He has graced many a Facebook post due to his facial damage. Regis.
There's broken nose, then there's Louis Regis. But again, 3rd round here, so the tempo again picking up. But one of the good things you see, Hammer, about these pro fighters is the scoring and the counter scoring. You can just see the experience of the fighters there in centering.
Yeah, and Regis now he's got some Thai trainers based at his gym, and I think they would be well, I suppose, aware of Mike 300's fight style, so they'd have a good counter strategy for Regis. So I think his training camp for this one's been very solid.
Yeah, the interesting thing is Mike Demetriou is always pushing the pace. It's very rare you see Mike on the back foot.
Look at that step through, attacking the lead leg, changing angles, looks to launch the overhand. Nice push kick, steps out, again, always circling off. He knows Demetriou is going to come forward. And indeed, Demetriou has to come forward now. He's got to get his points up. So he comes forward, and of course, Muay Thai, full Muay Thai.
Okay, come on,
Aggression, forward movement, weighs heavily on the judges' scorecards. So Demetriou just cranking forward constantly. He's just at that work rate the whole time.
It's a good hand there from Demetriou. Good kicks, good counter kicking there from Regis, just losing his feet. But one thing with Demetriou, he goes back to there's really not a lot of things to say to him, because Mike knows he'd know where the fight's sitting at the moment. He would know what he needs to do.
Yep.
A real thinking fighter.
Thank you.
See Don Miller there, Keith Grant in the corner.
Round 4, boys. Round 4. Choke.
There we go, there. Round number 4, so they really start. This is what they call the money round off in Hammer, where they've really got to sort of set the mark for the judges.
Off the ropes.
So Elias just letting Lewis know not to hang on to the ropes.
Just for a little bit of extra balance.
Good respect shown from both of these fighters as well.
Again, round kick for round kick, they trade. Regis is probing with the lead hand, looking to measure his distance, look to set. Not as much grappling in this as I thought. I thought Demetriou would walk forward and just look to crank the neck of Regis and work in on the clinch, but I think he's actually finding Regis a little bit harder to grapple and manhandle in the clinch than perhaps he thought it would be.
Yeah, look, again, Regis is a smart fighter, and every time Mike's walking through, Louis trying to catch him with a kick or even a knee as he's coming in, but locking up the grapple. Now, we haven't seen a lot of elbows flying, Hammer.
No, not so far. The guys are very wary of each other's power and prowess, I suppose, in the clinch. So they're playing it safe on the inside.
And I suppose too, elbows are great if you can get through the guard, but both these boys have got terrific guards as well, so that makes it a little bit harder to get the elbows through.
Yeah, and they're tying each other up, locking down nicely on the inside as well, negating each other in the clinch. And it really is, this fight's been contested on the outside, and on the outside at this point, 300's going forward, but Regis is busy. He's still throwing out, even though he's not as aggressive with his forward movement, he is aggressive with his work rate.
Yeah, and we've seen Regis throw a couple of elbows there that has caught Mike, but there's no real damage there.
Right hook. Obviously, the natural enemy of the left-handed fighter is that right hand and right hook.
And Regis now just starting to turn this one a little bit, where he's getting a little bit more on the front foot in this fourth round. Demetriou has been controlling the tempo, but Regis has been sort of backing Mike up a couple of times in this fourth round. Beautiful
body kick there from 300, and again he goes for Demetriou. Regis just dances out of the way, and again clinches up.
Stop.
Elias just breaking the boys and the grapplers as we come to the dying moments of this fourth round. WMC Australian Pro title, big dump there from Mike Demetriou. Lewis Regis just acknowledging that one with a tap on the gloves. Nice looping left there from Regis. Again, you can see Regis now really trying to get on the front foot and control the tempo. Attempted jumping knee.
In and out, clinches up. And just keeps busy. Regis on the inside. He's not stalling at all. He's just throwing with great gusto and good work from Regis. Demetriou really needs a big round this next one, Johnny.
Mate, he does, and I'll tell you what, you can just see then in that fourth round that Regis was stepping up. There's a crossing elbow from Regis. He was just pushing that pace a little bit more. Neither boys have really inflicted a lot of damage on their opponent. Beautiful takedown there from Demetriou. Here we go, the fifth and final round, WMC Australian Pro title. grabbed proudly by Quest Environments.
Now go.
Rebellion Muay Thai, 100% Muay Thai.
Okay.
Thanks to Sign
Cut.
Naji. Once again, putting on a sensational card.
Absolutely packed house here, Malvern Town Hall. Fans have turned out in droves to see the best of the best compete. See who will bring home the bacon. Oh, a big trade of rear hands from both fighters there. Demetriou now really upping the ante and pushing forward. He knows he needs a big round.
Yeah, and Donnie Miller starting to get vocal in the corner. We've got Richie Funus in the corner as well. Of course, the luscious one, Keith Grant, really looking to step it up.
Yak.
Elias just separating the boys, and the tempo in this fifth and final round, Hammer, it's there for the taking. Both boys really need to try and dominate.
Just dances out of the way, Regis. Looks for the sweep takedown. And fast handwork, Regis just getting through the guard.
And it brought the smile out of Demetriou, so you know that it got through the guard.
It just momentarily stunned him. And fast hand, rapid fire, and it's, I suppose it goes with what I spoke about earlier when fighters, I suppose they come back from Thailand, they're very, very powerful in their kicking. The boxing is a little bit wide and not as sharp, perhaps.
You can see Demetriou was just sort of setting up in the grapple there to try and get through an elbow, and he got caught by one from Regis, not a big one, but nonetheless it got through the guard.
Catch, and look to elbow, but they tangle up. Demetriou on the inside, good powerful knees on the inside, but Regis ever busy, ever active on the outside again, makes distance, sets his attack. Demetriou walks forward as he does.
A bit of claret flowing from the nose now. Regis, another
spinning heel kick. Beautifully done, Louis Regis.
And I think it just grazed Demetriou on the chin. He was lucky, he was just not quite in the range. The boys are really bringing out the weapons now.
Calling him on, Regis, wanting to finish this one on a high.
Go!
And Elias just egging the boys on, knowing this is for the WMC Australian Pro title, really getting the boys to finish it off.
Separate! Chop!
No standing back and looking at each other in the fifth and final round of a Muay Thai battle, especially when there's a title on the line. The guys know that they need to finish strong if it's a close one. Oh, again with its spinning heel kick.
And you know, having 15 minutes of non-stop action from these guys. The cardio is exceptional. And you know, these guys have just put in a full 15 minutes and they could probably keep going again.
Loads up, looking to load up Demetriou. The opportunity not coming there for him. Nice catch and counter. They tangle. Active on the inside is Regis.
Work!
Elias just calling them on in the dying moments of this fifth and final round. Big driving knees from both boys. Counter knees over in the red corner. There you have it, Hammer. Over and done with both boys. Absolutely spent. But this one's going to go to the judge's decision. I'm going to put you on the spot, Hammer. What are you thinking?
Thank you.
Well, for me, you know, Demetriou was solid in his walk-up style as always. Caught Regis, especially in that fifth round, with some good shots, but generally overall through the duration, I think that Louis just landed just a little bit more, was a little bit more active. And for me, for mine, I think may probably go his way.
After 5 rounds of action, we've gone to the judges' scorecards. Our 3 judges scored the contest: 49-47, 49-47, 50-47. Declaring your winner and new professional World Muay Thai Council Junior middleweight champion, blue corner, Lewis.
Well, there you have it, called spot on there, Hammer. Your new WMC Pro Australian champion, Lewis Regis from New South Wales. Commiserations to Mike 300 Demetriou.